To what should be called Season 3, but I'm considering just calling it Season 2, almost, or more like Semester 2, actually, of my head drawing class. As with the previous ones, we're going to be going back and cycling back through Back to Simplicity again, with starting out where we began originally. The last two times we cycled through the different phases of the head the head abstractions we've been working on. So what we're going to be working on today is what you see on my screen right now, which is a head abstraction called the Andrew Loomis head. And the Loomis head is a drawing device created by Andrew Loomis, a early 20th century illustrator, who has several books that you can get that are in the public domain. You should be able to find online pretty easily, but I'll show you the links for to get those later for yourself. But you should be able to find them by just Googling Loomis head, and also people like Proco and stuff have actually done demonstrations of like how the Loomis head is used in their in YouTube videos. But we're going to be doing a live demo of it today, and then we're going to be doing a lot of timed head pose drawings where we will be using the Loomis head to create a foundation for a head drawing. And we'll also, and unlike past ones where we kind of omitted the features and stuff, we're actually going to be spending some time trying to put features in and stuff, and trying to like kind of do a few things like beyond like what the starting point of the memorization of the head abstraction of the Loomis head gives us. So let me just show you this other thing that I was doing yesterday. Let's see here. There it is. Alright, so I did this yesterday to warm up. So this page right here is a representative of an approach I'm going to be taking for my studies in general in the future, where I like make massive pages like this, and I just fill them up with like repetitive practice from a subject that I want to study or want to get warmed up in. So I used this yesterday to kind of just, during the Lightbox Expo when I was in the voice chat, to just kind of vibe and bust out like tons and tons of this head that I've been trying to make second nature to everything I draw. Like even if I don't necessarily, the point of doing something like this is because it becomes so second nature, you can instantly call on it to solve like head problems and stuff. Like this particular drawing, and this is just one drawing tool to study. The biggest thing you get out of the Loomis head is a foundational approach to understanding head direction and and understanding the side planes of the head, and also the general proportions of the head. So I'll be doing a demonstration of how to draw this guy and how to rotate him around, and I'll be showing you some drawing tools that you can use as your cheat sheet to kind of key into this thing. But first off, we'll start on this page right here, and I'll start with the demonstration. After which, at about I want to say also I want everyone to draw along while I'm doing this. By the way, like I'll try to space it out so that people can follow along at their own pace or whatever. But here, let's see. Maybe I'll put this in like 10 minutes or something like that, so it holds on an image. All right. So the foundational thing you start the Loomis head with is a circle. So I want everyone to draw a circle on their page right now, like this. And if you're familiar with the Loomis head, anyone who's here who's already done this stuff, just go right ahead and start drawing heads. Maybe use the on-screen reference images of the animated character heads that's on the left there to kind of play with or something. Or you can just fill up. You can do what I did, was just fill up a page with a ton of like invented Loomis heads. And hang on, let me know if the music volume gets annoying because I'm. Here we go. So just a bit. Okay, so when you start a Loomis head, you start with a circle. So So the first version of Limbus head that we're going to do is we're going to do the straight-on Limbus head. Actually, no. Yeah, no, we're going to be doing the profile Limbus head. It's best to understand it from the profile view first. So we're going to do 3 poses in the Limbus head total here, as part of this demo here. So I want people to follow along with this. So you start with a circle like this. Then somewhere around like halfway here, you cut kind of a halfway reference point through the circle, kind of like that. Or actually, no, here. Well, you kind of find about where like the center point of the circle is, or so. So this is going to be a dead-on profile. So what you need is another circle inside the circle. You can use a crisscross like I just drew over, or you can just kind of eyeball it like what I'm doing here. You just get a circle within the circle. Then you make a crisscross at 90 degrees over the circle like that. So you're left with this kind of, what you're looking at here is you're looking at the side plane of the head. The foundational component of the Limbus head is here. Look, here's a Limbus head done in 3/4 real quick. This foundational component of a Limbus head is a circle, or a sphere rather, that's had like its sides chopped off, like this. So that's what you're establishing here in profile view. You're viewing this head from the side here. So from here, you can draw out a straight line, or kind of like wrap it slightly because this is a sphere. You add another one up here too, and they have like the top. You have the top point of the head, and you have the brow line right here of the head. So the next thing you do is, here's a trick that I like to use to that I found out from the Watts Atelier folks. If you want a good measuring point from the hairline as a point of reference, you draw a diagonal line like this across that little crash test dummy crisscross line on the side there, and then you find a point for the hairline right here, which is the part of your head that kind of like changes a planar direction, roughly about, or a little bit above it. But you can use that as a measurement of thirds for the front part of the face. And using this, now you can find the proportions of the bottom that will get you in the ballpark for the bottom of the jaw. So you measure out another third measurement, and now you've got where the bottom of the nose is, about there. You measure out another third down here. Mind you, these don't have to be perfect. I want people to do a lot of them to wrap their head around them. Like that huge page I did was like me kind of repeating the same thing over and over again and getting the thing intuitive. This is a tool that you're going to be using a lot, and I want you to get into your bloodstream to memorize and to be able to call up at a moment's notice to solve any kind of drawing problem, really. So, from here, now you know where the bottom of the chin is. It's about here. This is roughly about third. It's probably not perfect third, but that's okay. We got something that's working kind of in the ballpark here. So, next thing you're going to want to do, I should really blow this up. This is a really, really tiny drawing. So next thing you're going to want to do is, here's another trick. You can kind of measure, you can kind of use like the back of the head kind of to find the angle of the jaw here. Like the corner of the jaw, kind of comes from that middle line here, a little bit below the sphere, and then kind of comes off that back side of the head a little bit. So then you get that. You can kind of guesstimate like the flat part of the chin down here. And then what you can do is you can take the front plane of the head and make this kind of sort of S-curve line here. Kind of like get an abstraction for like kind of how the front of the face works a little bit. This isn't quite completely how the front of the face works, but it's a good establishing point, abstraction. And then from there you can start kind of like putting like the nose, the T-cylinder, and stuff like that. And the point of this technique is simplicity, so you can understand these really complex forms in like a really simple, like a really like simple point of reference. So the other thing you do is you take this from the side plane of the head down to that little corner of the jaw there, bottom of the jaw. There you go. You got a Loomis head in profile right here. So let's take this. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you where the features go on this guy. So first thing about that is you want to take the top plane of the head, or the top of the head, down to the bottom of the jaw, like so. And you want to find about like where the halfway point is between that. That's about here, I'd say. So this is your eye line. That's your eye line. Remember, that's your eye line. This is your hairline. This is your brow line. This is the bottom of the nose. That's the bottom of the chin. So remember that so you don't get confused. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, let's see, I'll use black again for this. So I'm just gonna like rough in some really light like kind of placement of the features. So it's kind of like this circle right here for the eye. That's not really like how the eye works, but I'm kind of using it to kind of place it. I might do like a little bit of this, like add a little bit to the front of the brow there. For the nose, I'll do this kind of. I'm just kind of showing you like how you can kind of fit in the features a bit. And then we'll get into more stuff in the future on individual features. But there's its own rule of thirds for this part, for like the lips and the chin on the front of the face. So I'm going to do is I'm going to add like we're not going to go too in depth with this, but generally the general idea is the top lip is about here. And the indentation of the chin right there, or something like that, or there, or something like that. That's the general idea. So anyway, we're going to move on to the next. We're going to move on to the next iteration of the head, which will be, let's see. It's either going to be straight on or profile. It's going to be straight on. All right, so straight on is going to be is going to be a little more challenging to draw. Fortunately, this is like really super abstract and simple. But just so you know, like drawing symmetrical straight-on faces is actually more challenging than drawing a three-quarter head, because things have to be symmetrical, and it's so easy for things to look off. So anyway, let's see here. Maybe measure out this here, like so. We get the bottom of the sphere in there too. All right, so same routine as the last one here. Actually, I had a weird angle here, so I'm actually drawing a little cockeyed. I should use like the roto tools or something. So, yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so got this, that. All right. So start with a big old circle. I'm actually going to use this kind of a center line here to kind of figure out the ratio of my circle a little bit better. Alright, so we get like a basic circle in there. Very lumpy circle. I'm going to fix that a bit. So I'm drawing at a really awkward angle here because I'm using a new desk setup today. Alright. So that's enough for the demonstration purposes here. So for the straight on, one of the first things you want to do is put an indication in here for the side planes, like so. It's usually better for the straight on that you do this kind of like C curve in here, with like the side plane of the head, because that's a little closer to how the skull works. But you can chop it straight off if you want to. So we're going to do the kind of C curve sort of thing on both sides here. Maybe I'll erase it just slightly. So now we already know where the bottom of the chin is, so I'm just going to indicate that down here. Head's looking a little thick, but it's okay. We'll just go ahead with this. Yeah, that's kind of bugging me. I'm going to squish that head. That's looking a little better. Okay. All right, so we can guesstimate kind of about where the turning point of the jaw is, about there. We're going to angle this slightly inwards, actually, on both these sides here. Like that. Now that we got like the corner of the jaw just about, bottom of the chin would probably be about like here to here, I'd say. Like so. We know where the hairline is, about here. Then it's all the same stuff as we did over there if we want to add features and stuff in. I almost forgot one thing. There's you use the side planes of the head. Bring those sides of the cheeks in like that. I'm going to make some fixes here and there because there's a few things that got kind of lopsided. You have to forgive me, I'm a little discombobulated with this setup. So it's kind of throwing me off, throwing off my visual measurements a little bit. Yeah, inverting the canvas would definitely help me find that. But we're just going to power ahead with this because the basic idea of this will work fine. And I want people to be, I don't want people to get too caught up in perfectionism with these. I want people to be drawing lots and lots and lots of these. It's like I already know how to like anal retentively get like accurate measurements on these things, and we're really slowed down for doing that. But I just want to show functionally how people how these work, so that they can kind of walk through it, because we're going to be walking through this at hyperspeed for doing these over and over again. I'm just throwing in some features here. Rough measurements of where the corners of the mouth is and so on. Anyway, so we're going to move on to the 3/4. So the 3/4 head is actually a slightly easy mode after doing the last two. So I'm just going to jump right in and do it. And it's hard to draw circles at this size ratio on my screen right now. Probably should have zoomed out slightly for this. In any case, so I've got like the side things at the head about here. Just get it about here. So we got that crash test dummy side of the head thing going on again, about like the halfway point there. Drop the jaw down to about here. We find the top plane of the head, or the top point of the head, rather. We can use this to wrap over the front of the face to find the brow line again. We use the top point of the head up here to kind of gauge the wrapping of the center line down the front of the face, like so. Let's find about the bottom of the chin is there. With the angled back of the head, use that. It's kind of S-curve shape coming from the side plane of the head. Kind of S-curve coming down the front of the face for the center line. And an S-curve coming down from that disappearing side of the face over there. Down to the chin. There we go. That is our 3-pose Loomis head turnaround. So now the next phase. Now that you've seen how to do this and hopefully followed along, we're going to take a very short break for about, okay Google, set timer 5 minutes. Okay, Google, set timer 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now. Speaking of timers, to make sure.
Okay, Google, shut up. Alright. So this is like some guesstimations of the features here. Not doing anything too huge. I'm coming back into this after a week break of art with some warm-ups that I did for the last couple days to kind of get back into gear a bit. But I've been teaching like back-to-back classes like for 11 weeks, so I really needed a break. And this is coming back to Loomis heads again is another back to basics thing for me. This is a little weird. I think the mouth placement's a little odd. Yeah, this is your basic Loomis head turnaround, more or less. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting on a combination of animated figure poses and realistic head poses, real photograph poses, heads. And we're going to be doing timed figure poses of it for about 25 minutes, and we're going to be doing that for a total of, let's see, 5 sessions of 25 minutes with 5-minute breaks of timed figure poses, and we're going to be mainly using the Loomis head, doing the Loomis head over and over again. But I will also dip into some other things that we're also going to be using. I'll be doing live demonstrations and talking through what I'm doing, because we practiced a lot of other stuff, and there's a lot of other information that I can go over specific to animation, and like breaking down character heads for animation that we'll get into too. So it should be pretty interesting. But yeah, see this page here? Like, the homework I'm basically going to assign for this class is do this. Fill up a page with like tons and tons of Loomis heads in different angles and stuff, like so. You can even add some features in here and there, you know, or kind of do what I did, where I started like applying some of the other principles of construction and gesture that I'm also learning and teaching in my figure drawing class. Some of the other figures here. Yeah, you might recognize this guy. That guy's the Loomis skeleton right there. In these guys here, there's a little bit of Steve Houston and Michael Hampton and Riley Mifflin and some other mannequinization things that I've been messing with. But these are all invented figures right here. Like, I didn't use any reference for these. I was just trying to like I was starting with Loomis heads and I was building off of them, basically. So it kind of like test my figure construction a little bit. Yeah, I did all of these yesterday. I mean, if you get in the groove, it's actually kind of soothing to do something like this. Like, if you have it if you have like the Loomis head pretty intuitive, or whatever other tool you're trying to study intuitive. I mean, like, you often want to have like reference and stuff if it's like a particularly complex thing. But if it's something that you can like procedurally memorize and repeat and use, like the Loomis head, you can just use it over and over again. So I'll be doing stuff. I will actually be doing more pages like this throughout the week. Wednesday this week, I'm planning on having a hand drawing focused day for Wednesday's class. Friday will be figure focused. Saturday, we're probably going to do some animation studies. Yes. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer? Okay, Google,
16.
Okay, Google, stop.
Okay. Consider it canceled.
Alright, so what we're going to do very shortly is I'm going to queue up some realistic heads. Head photographs, pretty much. I gotta get this fan aimed directly at me. It's roasting hot in this room. We're going to, maybe I want to put it on 3 minutes for these, I think. We're going to be doing 3-minute poses of people's heads. How do I draw such perfect circles? Practice. Also, I don't draw from my wrist, I draw from my shoulder. Alright, let's see here. How many infection heads do I have in here? Yeah, these are neat, but it's a little unclear for beginners where the plane changes are happening. These are some of, here's some Riley method heads, animation heads. Oh, there's a Loomis head right there. This is actually from Andrew Loomis's book right here. There's another page from Loomis's book that's on screen right now, showing you further how to use the head sphere. This is the Riley method head, abstraction. We're going to be getting more into that in future sessions. What app is that you're using for gesture drawing? It's called Gesture Drawing 3. It's available for $15 on QBrush. Okay, here's another page from Loomis right here. I think what I'll actually do is I'll start us off with these. I'm going to put this on 10 minutes, and I'm going to have us like hold on this page, and we'll copy stuff from here, and I'll let you know when we're going to change the timer, if we're going to change a little bit early. But we'll start off on this. So, okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes, starting now. Side note, if you need an alarm in this room in the morning, I could do that too. Just say, set an alarm for 7 a.m.
Alright, folks, so I hope you have a pretty decent sized page to work on your digital drawing thing, or your sketchbook, or whatever you're using. Because I want you to fill up a page with lots and lots of Loomis heads tonight. So we're going to be using the basic Loomis head abstraction on the things we draw tonight, but I want you to get intuitive with it and enjoy it. I don't want you to get locked up in what you're doing. Walk through it a few times, walk through the procedure a few times. I'll show you how to do it. You see what I'm doing here with establishing that sphere, adding in that crisscross crash test dummy side plane thing. I'm going to be going through these I'm going to be going through Loomis heads in hyperspeed tonight because I'm really intuitive with these. And hopefully you guys will be able to pick up on it. If I speed along and I'm not getting self-conscious about it, I understand these enough that I can use them intuitively. From sheer amount of mileage I put in using these things. So some of the things that I'm observing here about that Loomis does on this page versus the demo I just showed you is look at that. You can actually see he actually did establish a diagonal line to kind of find the hairline point from the center line there on that page. And and you can see he kind of guesstimated about where the nose was, kind of using the rhythms of the head a little bit. Okay. You can also see he's using the general idea. He doesn't use the same kind of rhythms like this that we're using on this page, but using those, you can kind of using those S-curve things coming down off the sides of the face. You can kind of guesstimate about where like that little kind of brow side plane thing is, and where that that cheek is, about where like that kind of 2-cylinder indication is a little bit. He also has like the eye line there and a little abstraction in the middle left. Taking that a little bit further, I can, let's see here. Taking that a little bit further, I'm going to play with some of the other things you did with adding features in, because why not? You're free to experiment with this tonight, especially if you've done a lot of Limbus heads in the past in my classes or are familiar with this device. You can feel free to add in features in your own way if you're familiar with how to draw features, or copy what Limbus is doing. And don't go for perfectionism. You're not. You're doing quick little studies of these. Like, I want you to kind of do these quick studies the same way you would if you like had a copy of or some pages of Andrew Loomis's book, and you were waiting in the dentist's office or something, and you had a few minutes to like a few minutes or a half hour or whatever. I don't know how long the dentist can't wait to see you, and you fill up a page in your sketchbook with a bunch of little Loomis heads like this, copying from the heads that Loomis did. One thing I will want to note about like the eyes, the distance between the eyes. Generally speaking, like the distance between the eyes is 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. You got the sides of the head somewhere out there. That means the nose is about here. Yeah, from tear duct to corner of the eye right there. You can use that measurement to kind of measure something along the lines of the width of the nose, but also the gap between the eyes in the middle of the face. So I'm kind of using that idea a little bit and keeping that in mind with if I'm making the eyes a little bit too narrow on this 3/4 view. And this is just a little sketch study. Like, you don't have to be perfect with any of these. Like, this is just to like pick up on one or two things and then move on to the next thing. We're not doing perfect studies right now. We're just doing a little quick kind of dip our toes in using this stuff. These are little sketches and studies that we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to be doing a lot of them. So I want people to have a good way. I want people to like maybe like try to like have a giant, depending on how good your system is, try to have a really giant page where you're drawing like little small heads and kind of like a zoomed in portion of the page or something. And your homework for this week will be to fill up the rest of the page. But if you can't do that, like if it's like a system resources thing to have like that amount of like screen real estate or something, then multiple pages that are roughly about the equivalent of like something like that giant ass page I did. I did that in a day, and if you can do that in a day, that's great. Do more of those then. We're going to be doing more of those in our other classes for other subjects, like that page that I did of all those heads. We're going to be doing those for hands and stuff also. And I'm going to actually reset this timer on this. But do people want to stay on this page, or would you like to move to the next one? Yeah, let's stay on this page. Because there's a lot here to kind of work from. There's a down tilt. Like, we've got a straight on view here, but there's a challenging down tilt on the right. So I'm just going to do that. But I'm used to using these Loomis heads, so I'm just going to jump right in. even maybe start riffing a bit too, because like I mean, this is good observation mileage and stuff, but really, like you want to turn these tools into your own thing. When you're slowing down to like stodgily copy and stuff, like there's a point where you're going to be doing that to kind of observe. But you want to like get these tools and your ability to use them in kind of a dexterous manner to feel intuitive, so that they become your own, and they start coming. Like the things that you draw start coming alive three-dimensionally and gesturally on your own. Like inherently, when you are trying to learn something, you are going to slow down and kind of stiffen up a bit. And that's okay. It's part of the learning process. You're also going to inherently get things wrong when you try to loosen up, because like you're trying to loosen up. You're trying to not get so like stodgy with how you're drawing. You want a balance between the two, and you want to go back and forth between them sometimes, so you can kind of get in kind of a sweet spot where you're feeling pretty confident. You might not be making correct decisions, but you're making decisions confidently. And your third eye to be able to understand what you're drawing and flexibly, even when you make wrong decisions, starts to open up. Your third eye, so to speak. Like your receptiveness to observation and learning will start opening up when you hit that sweet spot. That's the artist version of being like in the athletes or the esports athletes, being in the zone. And you can experience the zone even if you're an inexperienced artist. If you are starting to hit a sweet spot at your current level with applying what you're learning, you can get into a very satisfying sort of sweet spot flow state with what you're doing. And that sweet spot is, of course, like I said, it's when you find a sweet spot between your observation skills and your ability to invent and feel through things gesturally and intuitively. Gesturally and intuitively. Let's see, I'm going to do those eyes now. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
T-minus 14 minutes and 55 seconds.
Well, we got plenty of time to like linger on this page or move on to another one. When people are ready to kind of move on to another page, just say so in text chat, in Twitch chat. But we're going to linger today. We can linger. We can do quick poses later too. But we're going to definitely do like some quick fire Lunas heads tonight. But lingering is also a good idea because we're going to take a look at some animation drawing heads too, and maybe try to learn some things from them. We're going to try to extrapolate some of the Lunas head stuff into those. And show you how you can use bits and pieces of knowledge from Lunas heads, even if you're not strictly drawing a Lunas head for an animated character. You can use the Lunas head, the understanding of the Lunas head, to kind of understand animated character heads. Yes, this will be available to watch on my YouTube. I think link to my YouTube is down below in the chat. If you have to leave early. Also, how many of you are first-timers here to any of my classes? Type 1 in chat if it's your first time here. Type the number 1 in chat if it's your first time here. Nice. All right. Now, what I want to know is how many of you are first-timers who heard about my classes from all the hubbub that was going on with the Lightbox Expo yesterday, and throughout the whole Lightbox Expo. How many of you are newcomers who found out about this class through like the Lightbox Expo? Type number 2 if you are newcomers that found out about this place from the Lightbox Expo. So for those who don't know, that Lightbox Expo is a art convention that was handled online this year because of COVID, but it's an art convention by and for artists, animators, and people in the games and animation industry and so on, and comics and games, comics, and animation and so on. Lightbox Expo had like a ton of online panels, including one that was done officially through our Discord. Ethan Becker, I'm part of the Ethan Becker family, Discord family of people who teach classes through and organize teaching of classes through Ethan Becker's Discord. Art YouTuber Ethan Becker, who's a really awesome dude, is the reason why I'm here. And the community that we've kind of grown around him, around his YouTube channel, has kind of blossomed into stuff like what we're doing right now. And we have a bunch of new teachers that have just joined us. Some really, really awesome, talented folks that you can look forward to teaching classes through our Discord throughout the coming weeks. I will be actually sitting in on some of them or acting as a TA. Oh, that reminds me, we might actually be having a guest lecture on Wednesday in my class for hands, assuming that they'll be able to make it. If not, then we'll be having them another time. Wednesday's class will be a hand drawing focused class. We'll be going over the basics of hand construction, and then we'll just be drawing tons and tons of hands. Hand construction and gesture, mind you. So that got these kind of weird looking Loomis heads where I kind of messed up some things. I haven't drawn features for a while. I'm going to have to get some features practice in the coming weeks too. So many blind spots of things I need to study and refresh my memory of as I walk back up through the fundamentals. But we'll be walking up through them together. The reason why I started teaching these classes in the first place is because I got horribly out of drawing shape through a combination of years of working on TV animation shows that are puppet rig based, meaning that I do use drawing skills, but not as much as I would if I was like on a hand-drawn production or something. So my drawing skills kind of fell a little bit by the wayside, and also last year I got really sick and I couldn't draw for a year. And after I got better, though, I discovered Ethan Becker's Discord and joined the community. And things have kind of snowballed into me being a teacher since then. And the way I teach is these classes I'm not like a super pro or anything like that. I'm crappy. I make mistakes. I'm teaching these classes in order to get better myself. Because this forces me into. Oh, hang on. Let's go back here. This forces me into adopting better study and practice habits. I saw a lot of growth last semester when I was doing 3-hour drawing sessions every day. The way things are structured now, this semester, I'm actually going to be working on game art and animation for an official Discord game project. We're doing a student project, game development project where I'm the director, and we're having my team is having our first meeting tomorrow. There's some really awesome, talented people on the team that are like way better than me, and that's good. I want people that are way better than me on my team, because the point of doing a student project like this is so everyone can learn and step up their game, learn from each other, learn how to interact with and learn from other people on a team, learn how to combine skills of people of varying skill levels, learn how to run and structure a pipeline for production. I have experience with that in animation, but I've never done it in game dev, but it's going to be very exciting. We've got some very dedicated people, including someone who's acting as producer for structuring our pipeline. That should be pretty neat. I'd love to tell you more about it, but I really don't want to go into too much detail on it on stream until we have some like really good art worth sharing. I did go to school. I graduated from Laguna College of Art and Design several years ago. But like I said, I've had kind of a rocky history in the animation industry, with working on a lot of shows that didn't really draw on my drawing ability, so I kind of let that fall by the wayside when I shouldn't have. And then, of course, I've been grappling with illness throughout most of my life. And it wasn't just last year. That's the first time I've gotten really sick. That it's stolen years of my life away from me. But what's different this time is I got properly diagnosed this time, and I got properly treated for this illness that's been plaguing me since childhood. So I can concentrate like a normal person for the first time in my life, actually. And so part of what I'm doing here as a self-discipline exercise is teaching. Someone asked, are you creating the game for the story you pitched during the character design course? No, it's an original story. A little bit simpler, and a little bit more free for the other team members to play with. We're going to be creating a game prototype, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But I have like a bunch of other ideas in my back pocket that I've done like a ton of concept work already for, which I will actually pitch to the team later, after we get this prototype that we're committing to out of us. I got several other ideas I've written design docs for and done sketches for, and other things there's other stuff I have a starting point to work from if we do something else after this, or if I form new teams. Because there's going to be new, fresh crops of people to potentially form new teams with Discord. My hope is that we get good enough at what we're doing to actually start making real games that we sell. That would be awesome. Start our own indie game studio through the Discord. But for now, it is a student project. We're not really planning on selling it. The prototype will probably be free. If it snowballs into something real, we might do a crowdfund thing, and then Ethan will help promote it or something. Also, you notice another thing I did that on that other page, when you're doing your little Loomis head studies and stuff, you want to kind of reinforce what you're doing a bit. I kind of did drawovers of my own work here, kind of shoring up the lines, but I normally don't do that. But if you want to kind of reinforce a little bit, part of what you're trying what you're trying to get out of the Loomis head is to get an intuitive understanding of identifying the side plane of the head. So maybe take a color like this, and then fill in the side plane of the head with the color, like that. You see? Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
2 minutes and 9 seconds remaining.
Cool, we're a good ways along. But yeah, when you fill up your page, like when you get done with it, kind of like what I did on that other page here. Here it is. Go back through and you just use the color to like tone in the side plane of the head. I mean, it's just a little thing, partly to make them stand out. You can also do something like here. Let's you can put some black under the jaw. You can maybe sharpen up some of the lines or something, you know. Something to make them pop a little bit more, make the page nicer. I'll show you the reason why I'm doing that blackening under the neck thing from some of the animation drawing reference that we're using tonight. It's mainly to make the head pop, but it's also a good practice just in general to kind of do this, because it's a very, very common design thing with animation heads to kind of have that darkened under the front of the chin. It makes them easier to read too. You can tell where the bottom. You can like even when it's an upshot like this, you can tell at a glance like about what direction the head is tilted a little bit better. Okay, Google, stop. You notice like when I zoom out, like the heads that I've done that chin thing to pop and read a lot better. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Let me see if I can find an example of that in my animation head reference folder. Is there an example? No, there's not an example there. It's kind of a little bit of that. Well, it's just a dark line. It's not any shading right there. There's some stylization design. Oh, there we go. See? Black under the chin. Black under the neck there. There. Some early designs for Motor City by Robert Valley, I think. These are like much more... less abstracted, cartoony heads than they eventually went with. Here we go. See that little black under the chin there. Definitely see it here. And you can really see it here on these Motor City model sheet stuff. Yeah, more Motor City model sheets. Very stylized under the chin stuff. Mind you, the repetitive way that we're doing the Loomis head stuff, this is like prep and prep and understanding how heads work. so you can understand what's going on with these, even though these are like really abstract and like two-dimensionally stylized heads. They still follow rules of like so that you can kind of tell where the side plane of the head is, for example, on these. You can tell that that's the top of his head and stuff. Okay, it looks deceptively. It's like it's cheated. It's cheated to an extent, so that like it looks kind of flat-ish, but it still has dimensionality to it. So much so that like the Motor City character heads can fully like rotate in a very pseudo three-dimensional way. Like Titmouse made a for Motor City a proprietary flash tool that basically works like the master controller from Team Boot Harmony for like making like full head rotations of the Motor City characters. Does the Loomis head change at all between male and female heads? Mainly in the jaw shape. It's usually a jaw kind of proportion sort of thing. We'll get into male and female heads in the future, but don't worry about it too much for now. Although, I mean, we could like use like Ariel here as an example. I'm actually thinking we might pull some of these to do some draw over things real quick. Like, here we go. Here's a thing from Tailspin. Let's maybe do a quick cartoon demo. Should actually just import these from the folder themselves instead of that. Yeah. So the classic Disney cartoon character head, and I've gone over this before, so people might recognize what I'm about to do here. There are some Disney character heads that actually do use the Loomis head. The human characters in the more realistic-looking human character, the proportion human characters in Sleeping Beauty actually use a Loomis head, if you really look at it. But the classic Disney head is like this sort of head construction thing that you're seeing here, where you start with a head sphere. Whoops. I'm going to get a better drawing angle here so I can actually pull these circles off. So you get like this sphere here. And you get like a crisscross wrapping through the head sort of thing. Showing the head direction. Okay, Google, stop. And then like you can basically like build off the jaw. However, like if it's a human character, you're doing like this kind of stuff. But usually like usually on these kinds of Disney style heads, depending on the design, the eyes will actually rest on or below the eye line, like that. Like here's an example of a character with like eyes below the eye line. And here's an example of a character with eyes above the eye line. Yeah, even with this, like, the intuitive ideas behind, like, the Loomis head still kind of apply. You don't necessarily have to know the Loomis head to draw these kind of characters and stuff, but it's handy to understand what the Loomis head is describing when you're looking at things like this. Like, this is a really simple cartoon head and stuff, but even then, like, you're still thinking about, like, kind of about where the side plane of his head would be, a little bit. You may not physically draw it there, but you're still thinking about it. So we have this. Yeah, often what will happen also on Disney heads is the skirt. So like the skirt of the circle where the eyeline occurs, it doesn't necessarily happen like halfway through the sphere. Like in the case of Don Carnage, if you notice, like it's actually slightly down below the center. So it'd be about like here. I'm doing this detour on purpose. You can feel free to draw along here if you want. Maybe even try drawing Don Carnage from the on-screen reference. Maybe try adding some. Maybe try like making a Loomis head, but using his muzzle, something like this. I'm just kind of make a volumetric mass here, but using little bits and pieces of it. Look at that. They did a top one. They did like a top-down view of him too. How about that? I'm gonna do a little study here, drawing over him a bit. So why not? This is how you process this stuff, so you can understand it. So he's supposed to be a dimensional character, like there's a sense of dimensionality to his head and stuff. There's a sense of dimensionality to most classical Disney heads. So another thing about a lot of animated character designs is like those. So like the essential components of the Loomis head of you have something that kind of describes what the side plane of the head is. You have something that describes where the brow line is. You have something that describes where the top of the head is. You have something that can describe where the hairline is, the center line, the jaw, corners of the jaw, and so on and so on. This is a design puppet, basically, that gives you like a starting point to work with for a particular approach to drawing the head. The same idea also applies to animated characters. There's cues built in often to the character's design. Like there's pieces of construction that will be used, but there are telegraphs built into a lot of the character designs that will telegraph the information that is on display here in the Loomis head. Like in the case of Don Carnage here, like you can kind of intuit the side plane of the head from the fact that his ear is kind of wrapped against the head here, and then like his it's kind of raccoon eye sort of. I think that's like the eye socket right there. That's the eye socket. It's the overall eye socket right there. The eye area around the eye. Which means, like, if this was a skull here, like, let's do a Don Carnage skull. Something like this. And we're going to be doing skulls next week, again, by the way. human skulls. So I'm drawing on my knowledge of the human skull a little bit here, and animal skulls actually. Kind of do this little dumb carnage draw over thing. But I'm kind of using it to kind of show off like what I'm talking about with like you can kind of intuit the side plane of the head a bit. In this case, again, as with like the ear becomes the telegraph. The ear on his head becomes the telegraph of what the side plane of the head is, as do these tufts of fur from his cheek, right here. What time is it? 6:41. Alright, yeah. I want people to keep drawing along here with keep drawing drills of Loomis heads, or try drawing like Disney character heads of like Don Carnage or something like it. Because I want you to kind of cross-reference like the stuff that goes into the Loomis heads with this a little bit. We're just taking a slight detour right now, because I want for this evening for us to be repeating the Loomis head, but also be taking wee little detours to sort of apply some of the same ideas of the Loomis head to animated character head construction a little bit. These classes in the future are going to be moving in a much more animated-oriented direction. That means looking at animation model sheets to process information in them. And practice characters and observe things. We'll be picking up on little tidbits here and there every time we look at stuff like this. Yeah, I'm going to complete that Don Carnage skull a little bit, I think. Okay, got a Zygomatic going back there. There we go. Where do you find the model sheets? This is just an online... Well, I found these on Google. I actually have a folder where I've uploaded these. I'll share it a little bit later. Yeah, now that we've gotten this under our belt, I'm going to shift it back to something a little bit more Loomis-y for the last 10 minutes of what we're doing here. Here we go. Here's a page of Loomis heads. We'll go back to this now. So we got another 10 minutes here. Let's bust out some Loomis heads. And feel free to play with them. Like, maybe try turning the Loomis heads into cartoon characters and play with some of the Disney stuff we just went over. Like, bounce between them. I'm actually going to make a new page here for myself. When you're studying, you do want to be repeating yourself and being formal about what you're doing, but you also want to maybe take occasional detours, kind of like what we just did just now. If you see something valuable, worth grasping, that is not going to distract you, but build on and complement what you're doing, then you should reach for it. So I'm reaching for the Disney head construction, and I'm going to be using that tonight in addition to the Loomis stuff we're doing. So there we go. Maybe I'll do like something like, okay, I did a Loomis head. Alright, now Disney head. Gotta do a Disney head now. I'm gonna put that head skirt down below with like a low riding eye line. Add some eyes like right there. Center line there. And then I can maybe kind of, I'm gonna invent, I can do whatever I want with the job, but I'm gonna use a stock sort of thing that I have for like human faces that kind of works for Spacedad. So I'll just do this. There we go. Add a little C-curve neck. A little C-curve neck for my Loomis head. We darken in the underside of the neck a bit. Darken in the underside of the neck a bit here. Now move on to another Loomis head. A look at the Loomis heads that we got on screen here. This one I was using on the third column, second row down. I was looking at that one. For this one here. I'm going to look at the one that has the up tilt now. That's next to it. This one. So I'm going to do one of these. Let's do it real quick. Glance up there, because I know how these work, so I'm only going to glance up there when I feel like I'm running into a problem. And I want to because I trust my abilities to construct this, but when I run into stuff where I know I'm kind of falling short, I maybe want to glance up as like a cheat sheet. You got this sort of thing going on here. Cool. They put in some little indications of the eyes and nose. The ear here. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to mention. For the ear on Loomis heads. So the top of the ear is about here. Bottom of the ear is about where the bottom of the nose is. So let's see here. Well, also, if you do enough of these, you don't have to like stodgily measure out everything by thirds, unless you're doing like a long pose drawing using the Loomis head proportions or something. But if you're doing like a quick comic book character head sketch or something, you don't have to be that slowed down with it. But anyway, so get about here, third. So the bottom of the ear is about here, where the bottom of the nose is, just about there. Everyone's proportions vary, and so like this, the proportions here is like a get you in the ballpark measuring device for heads. Like if you know this thing, then you can distort it to fit a particular character. Like if a character has a particularly long chin, it's out of proportion to their face. You know what to do. You know what your basic center point is, or whatever. Another thing you can do is you can indicate the front and the top plane of the head, kind of like that. Just kind of wrap your head a little bit more around the three-dimensionality that's happening there, you know. Anyway, I'm going to move to another animated character head. Let's see here. Let's see, do like a kind of an animal character here. Gonna be a badly drawn animal character head. I haven't even decided what species the animal is. Let's make him a dog. Generic, make dog, or whatever. Alright, so another Loomis head. See, for this one I'm kind of riffing off what I'm seeing up above and just doing my own head. I'm kind of looking at like that straight on, down tilting head, but then I'm like turning it to the side slightly. Okay, Google, set timer for 3 minutes.
3 minutes, and that's starting now.
I'm seeing some good text chat input. Let's see here. The faces looking upward are definitely confusing where the position of the chin is. Yes, upshot heads are very challenging. We'll be getting more into those specifically in the future too. There's animation model sheets that actually show some pretty clever ways of solving those problems. Particularly Glenn Keen's Aladdin model sheet showing how to handle the upshots on Aladdin. I don't know if I have them in this folder, but yeah, Glenn Keen's got some good stuff on that. The position of the chin, I think, can vary based on how big or small the character's chin is. Like the more realistic proportion, the facial features are divided into thirds. Whereas the more stylized version of the chin takes up half the face. Hope that helps. Yeah. It's not too far off. But hopefully I don't get blasted in the ears, right, from the music. Yeah. Time is it? It is almost 7. We'll be on a 5-minute break pretty soon. Oops. Let's go back here. I'm going to actually give us a bunch of real photo heads for the next sesh, I think. But I definitely want to keep doing the thing that I'm doing, where I do a Loomis head and then like a kind of a Disney character model head. stop. And it's just a very technical sort of thing. I'm not necessarily like playing with anything crazy with character design. This is just like a very technical exercise with the basic mechanics of this. Alright. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bridge the gap between these Loomis heads and like using stuff for animation or cartooning. Okay, we'll set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be right back. I'm back with my water. Now let's see if we can get a better setup here, though, so I can get more air flowing underneath this fan. Get it at a weird angle. Okay, I'm moving a fan around the room real quick so I can have this at a better angle to cool me. Alright. I'm ready to go. I'm just gonna dive right back into this. So I'm gonna bring up our folder of realistic heads. I'm gonna put them on, let's see, a 3-minute timer. And now I want people to draw a Loomis head, maybe throw in some features, like some measurement features or something like that. Maybe use a Disney head on these realistic human head, on these realistic photo human heads. Oops, that's not right. Hollywood heads, there we go. Or actually, let me take a look at this. We might actually get more out of using the skulls folder. Oh, what's this? This is much better, actually. Yeah, we'll use this folder. Okay. So the rest of the session, we're going to be using this folder. I'll be trying to find images, and I'll be trying to like focus on images that show good hand angles. Or actually, not this folder. Let's try. Okay, Google, stop. Yeah, we'll use this folder. There's not enough variety in that one. Alright. Okay, so, okay Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes, starting now.
So now we got 25 minutes to do these. Each of these will be 3-minute poses. Try to just do a Loomis head from the head angle of the on-screen head. Draw in some features. You can even try a Disney head to create a cartoon character out of the head in front of you. But look for that side plane. It's very important. You can kind of use the ear to sort of judge about where the angle of the head is. Like the brow, you know, the ear is above the brow here, so that means the head is tilted downwards. It means that we're going to be seeing more of the top of the head a bit. More tilted, kind of like this, I want to say. I'm gonna get a little bit more of indication of the hair. Remember those Loomis heads we saw earlier? Where they had little indications of like the cheeks, and the brow and stuff. You can feel free to add in some of that. Eyeline there. Some indication of the eyes there. Ear back over here. Measuring out the sides of the corners of the mouth there a little bit. It's kind of sketching in some stuff towards the end. Shading the side plane. That's all I need for that. So this one's a really nicely indicated side plane because of the shadows that are going on there. So design a Loomis head based on this. I'm kind of overdrawing here with really messy lines, but it's gotta go. Gotta go with it. Set that fit. I think my sense of because of the angle that I'm drawing at here at this at the Cintiq that I got, I'm going to have to kind of slowly adjust it to the new position that I'm in, so I get the arm range I need to pull the strokes I need, and so I can see the proper angle that stuff is at on my drawing space. I notice like my sense of the tilt that I'm drawing at is a bit off right now. So I'm about to adjust that through trial and error and observation about what's happening with how my drawings look on the screen versus how it kind of looks to me and how my eye is fooling me for what's in front of me on my Cintiq. Got one more minute here, so I'm gonna maybe lower opacity on that. Throw some quick features in. Some quick cartoon comic booky features or something. Not feeling too comfortable with facial expressions right now, so I'll just kind of leave the mouth out. But I will play with the hair shape, but that seems like fun. So we got a slight turn to the right, screen right on this one. It's not quite straight on. But I'm going to push it a little bit further to screen right, just so it's not as ambiguous. Kind of looks like it's up tilted just a little bit too. So I'm not really too concerned with like facial type or anything like that right now. I'm just kind of riffing off these to construct a new set based off of it. But then I can go back through and maybe I will throw a little bit more facial type in there. go. Maybe try Loomis Head real quick on this, and then try Cartoon Head now. I'm gonna get back into that Cartoon Head Loomis Head rhythm I was doing earlier. So I can do Loomis Heads really quickly, I can just bust them out. Actually, what I could do is I could do Loomis Head and lower opacity. Then try to draw a cartoon head sort of using the same head angle. Like, let's see, where would I put the eye line on this guy? I think I would probably put it below. No. I would have pushed the chin. I'd really pushed the chin. Something like that on Barton Fink. Push his glasses. Push his nose. And push that kind of almost eraser head looking hair he's got. Barton Fink is an extremely good movie, by the way. I strongly recommend it. It's a movie that slowly devolves into a nightmare. Well, not that slowly. When it starts really turning into a nightmare, it kind of cascades into it. The nightmare starts the nightmare elements of it start creeping in bit by bit. And there's like multiple interpretations of the film. Yeah, it's a Coen Brothers movie. In my opinion, one of their all-time best. There we go, quickie cartoonified Barton Fink. There's Johnny Depp. So I think I'll do that pattern now. Seems like a really valuable pattern to combine the cartooning I was going over with the Loomis Head stuff. So let's see, for Johnny Depp here, it's a 3/4 view, favoring front, but still a 3/4 view. So I'm just going to use that basic Loomis Head to start. Then I'm going to go back through and make a cartoon character head on top of it. Somebody guesstimate, say he's got it like a very slight down tilt towards us. The reason I believe that is because the bottom of the ear is higher than the nose. So that means it's like something like this. Alright, now that I got that, I'm going to lower opacity on it, create a new layer. I'm going to do a quickie cartoon character version of it. So this is Johnny Depp. So that means what I want to do is emphasize those cheekbones. And the sides of the jaw versus the center here. satisfied with that, so I'm lower opacity on this. Whoops. It's a little odd. There you go. Windows magnifier got activated by accident. So I would normally move on, but I'm gonna have some fun with this first. That's enough. Let's maybe see if I can get this head angle, at least on the Loomis head, before it changes. Alright, so we get the side plane here. Music might be a little bit loud. There we go. How's everyone doing, by the way? Hope you're enjoying yourselves. This is my first class back after my break, so I am coming back rusty. But I feel like this is going to be a good semester. We're going to be doing some really fun stuff. One thing I'm going to be trying to have more of this semester is guest people on voice. I'm going to try to get some vetted people, maybe like some of the Spaceball Furies folks who I could banter with a bit, or some guest lecturers or teaching assistant folks who I will be bantering with on Discord. I will be doing that during our streams. So I think it would be a good idea to make some of these streams into a more cooperative social experience with some other people. So I'd love to get and ask some like live questions and stuff. Actually, you know what? Let's do that right now. I'm gonna open up the. Let's try it out right now and see how it goes. I'm going to give people push-to-talk voice permission in the classroom in Discord right now. There we go, push to talk is on. Alright, so if you can't talk in voice, in Discord, then leave Discord and rejoin. Leave the Discord voice channel and rejoin. But you should be able to speak up in push to talk right now. Let me turn it up. All right. Can anyone in Discord speak right now? There we go. Really quiet though.
Sorry.
I think it would be better if I did this because I'm kind of like sick of talking to the void for these classes. So I think it'd be a good idea this semester if I opened it up for people to talk and banter. So how's everyone doing? Is there anything you're curious about, or that you're struggling with, or do you have any suggestions or cool shit to share?
Just wondering I just got a tablet thing, and it's just
And it's what?
like tablet computer.
Oh yeah. What brand did you get?
I got the Wacom.
The Wacom. Get Intuos, or did you get a drawing display tablet?
Intros.
Yeah.
It just feels super different and like pressure.
Yeah. What were you used to drawing on before?
Paper, but I'm new to drawing in general.
Uh-huh. I mean, it's cool. It's okay to do digital drawing stuff, but I would strongly recommend newcomers newcomers to drawing. The lion's share of drawing you should be doing is traditional, and I'd recommend even like ballpoint pen or cheap Sharpies on like cheap newsprint or something.
Oh yeah, I've been using the fine liners because of Draw the Box.
Yeah. The tools they suggest if you're doing the Drawbox thing are good. And you read, I'm guessing you read why they picked those tools, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's better because even though you make mistakes, it's like you can't really erase it, and it helps in a way.
Mm-hmm. So anyone else who wants to speak up and push to talk is now enabled in the voice chat in Discord. So yeah. So if you can't speak up, leave the voice channel and rejoin it. That usually fixes it.
Hello.
Hello. Hey.
Hi.
You.
So I had a question about just is there a way to do this Loomis head drawing method in a more realistic sense? Like say if you wanted to draw a head in a realistic way.
Yes. And we're going to be getting into that in the coming weeks. We're actually going to be using it as part of the skulls that we're going to be doing next week. We're going to be using it we're going to be using it when we get to doing longer head pose drawing, and quick sketch realistic head poses.
Okay, thanks.
Let's see. I'm trying a few things right now because I'm trying to loosen up a bit. Does anyone have any other questions?
This is my first stream of yours.
Well, welcome aboard. Let's see here. I think it would be better in the future if I have voice chat enabled for my classes. Because being able to answer live questions is a huge help. I'm not just talking to the void then, and then I get kind of immediate feedback response of other people. So does anyone have any other questions or interesting observation? Any cool shit you have to mention from that you saw from Lightbox Expo, for example? What do you guys think of the Lightbox Expo stuff with Ethan Becker this week?
I thought it was fun. It was very like insightful.
Yeah.
What you need in order to like be considered eligible for industry.
Yeah. Actually, like, don't be intimidated though, because like there's a lot of like. You can get in the industry if you don't. If you can get in the industry.
Stream's being really helpful to shake off the rust.
Yeah, you can get in the industry if you have subpar skills. I mean, look who you're talking to right now. I'm trying to not have subpar skills. That's why I'm doing this. But
Aston?
yes, yeah, I can hear you. But like what you saw there is like those are the kinds of people you want to kind of strive to be, or the direction you kind of want to move more in. Like you want to really double down on like clocking in the good study habits and the good study time investment for like really learning your craft and practicing it. And seeking feedback from others and stuff.
I think some of the art featured in like all the latest parts of the stream were really like amazing to look at.
Oh yeah, for sure. One of the people who was in that, actually I think two of the people on that have actually joined our big game development team that I'm running. Our first official meeting is going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be streamed anywhere or anything. It's going to be a private meeting just between us. But we will. Yeah. Are you one of the team members?
In the Spacedad thing, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't see who's talking right now, so I don't know who it is.
It's Miles talking right
Oh, hello. Yeah, hello. Miles, you're the one who I wanted as a guest lecturer for our hand drawing on Wednesday. Are you still up for that?
Yeah, I actually asked when was the schedule for that one.
Yeah, if you'd like, you know, I could actually try it. I could try an experimental simul stream right now with you. To what you can do is let's see here. Can you actually stream in the classroom room?
I can, but I use Procreate on the iPad, so I don't know
You use what?
how that would work for the person. Procreate on the iPad. So
Oh, right.
that would...
Yeah, that will be an issue. There is software tools you can use to stream from that thing, but to stream from your iPad and so on. But do you have?
like I have loading screen for my iPad, but as I said, I don't.
You're on iPad right now, but you have a regular drawing PC, right?
I do have a regular like drawing PC. I'm just not as used to working. I'm like using a drawing tablet and working on the PC and stuff. I'm used to using my iPad.
Right. Well, we'll work on the technical stuff later.
Yeah,
I just want.
I had to like warm up my drawing skills with the drawing tablet.
Yeah.
To see.
But anyway, Miles is insanely talented. Like ridiculously. Like I'm shit. To be honest, I'm at.
Shit.
No, I am. I'm shit. And I'm trying to not be shit. But Miles is insanely good for being such a young artist. Miles, you could actually, let's see, actually shouldn't moderate. Miles, are you in Twitch chat right now? Oh, of course you are, but say something in Twitch chat. I'll make you a mod in my Twitch. Yeah, it's
You gotta push to talk in here.
yeah. Type something in Twitch chat and say hi, Miles, or whatever, and I'll mod you there. Then you can post links and shit. I think I'm being way too timid. Like, I can already tell like I'm being a little bit too timid with how I'm drawing right now. I'm gonna have to loosen up for sure.
I'm actually struggling with my line work to just to be able to get everything down quickly is like a huge thing for me.
Yeah, well, take it slow. Just walk through the procedure. Like, remember. Like, have you never done Loomis heads before?
I've done some. I haven't really done an in-depth study of it, as in like using it the way you're teaching in these classes. But I've done a Loomis head.
I just realized I'm actually on my friend's account.
Oh, I'll never mind that then. But Miles, post your art link or whatever in Discord, and I can share it on screen.
Do you want me to like show one of my drawings or my Instagram page?
Well, anything really. I mean, like your previous work or what your previous work actually. Whatever you want to show. So I'd love people to see what you're capable of. What time is it? It's 7:34, just about. I think we're due for another 5-minute break, aren't we? Okay, Google, how much time left on timer? I don't think I set one.
It looks like you don't have any timers
Yeah, I
set
didn't.
at the moment.
We'll take a 5-minute break. Okay, Google, set timer 5 minutes.
All right, 5 minutes, and we're starting now.
I'll just pause on this. Oh yeah, TB Choi's model sheets thing. Here, let me bring this up on Twitch real quick.
I'm making a new Twitch account for me real quick, so just
All right. Here, 1 second. Yeah, this is some stuff from TB Choi. I've actually seen this before. She has a video on her YouTube page that goes over some of the stuff I'm talking about and a bunch of other things. I actually want to dig through that and maybe try to regurgitate some of what she's doing for a future session. But I'll link the YouTube of her class, of her like online Twitch tutorial that she did previously. That's up on her YouTube in a little bit. So let's see. Miles, post your shit. Where are you?
I'm doing 10 things at once at the moment. I apologize.
Okay. Let's see. What do you got in your profile? Nothing. You got a fat load of nothing. I'm so ashamed. But now, if you got anything to post in chat right now, please post it. We can see. Just anyone who's in the Discord right now, feel free to post what you've been drawing for the class right now, or just share your work in general.
I post one of my character design books too. That's what you got.
Yes. Let's see here. This is Miles's Instagram. So I appreciate this take on Mr. Nobody from the Doom Patrol animated series.
That's actually the Doom Patrol from live action.
Yeah, I know. Have you read the original one? The original Grant Morrison one.
I have not, but I want to.
Yeah, you'd really like it. It's wild. You're probably going to wind up doing a lot of fan art from it when you get to it.
Yeah.
Look at this Kermit painting. Yeah. I'm happy to have Miles on the team because they'll help me shake off my art lazies.
There is a story behind that Kermit, if you want it.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So it started out as just like a shitty warm-up doodle because I had messaged my friend Wiley. You can look up his Instagram right now. It's I eat spoons for fun. Yeah, you can see it in the caption for that Kermit video. Not Kermit video, the Kermit drawing. And I just messaged him just like, what should I do as like a warm-up doodle? And he said, draw Kermit with buff human legs. And I was like, okay, I'll do like a shitty 20-second doodle of that.
There's the story on screen right there.
And I posted it on my Instagram story, and lo and behold, my favorite horror artist that just happens to follow me, Deadly Melodic, she responds to my Instagram story and is like, hey, if you make that a full illustration, I will make it the background on my phone.
Oh boy.
And of course, it's my favorite artist that's asking me that, so I'm just like, I guess I'm illustrating a buff-legged Kermit now.
Yeah, it's a hell of a good illustration too. A remarkably good drawing of for being a meme. I don't think you quite grasp just how far ahead you are of a lot of other people, not just your age, but people. You're far ahead of me in terms of your draftsmanship. So I'm happy to have you on the team, so I can learn from you too.
80% of my art, my friend Kanta explained that 80% of my art is basically joke art.
It's exceedingly well drawn joke art.
That one is of my character Pip. She's a character in this game I've been working on called Don't Fear the Other. Yeah,
and part of your ongoing Danny Elfman Oingo Boingo obsession. Yeah. Okay, Google, stop.
I have a lot of Boingo fan art on my page.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, Danny Elfman makes weird noises, the album. And then I made when like
Fungus
Black was going around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
the power of
like
God and enemy on my side.
I keep drawing stuff with buff legs that should not have buff legs. I don't know why I do this, but I do.
Yeah, I've listened to all of these albums. Several of them rather extensively.
Mm-hmm. I really like music. Music is the main inspiration for a bunch of my art and even my characters and stuff.
Same. We're gonna be using music a lot on our game project for inspirational stuff.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm very excited about that.
Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of other musicians I haven't mentioned yet. I'm also gonna introduce to the rest of the team.
One thing that I'm very proud of when it comes to my progression with art is I learn very quickly. Mm-hmm. So you can see on the bottom of my page, my more like cartoony stuff was just from last year, exactly.
Yeah.
And I went from this cartoony style to
that's the other thing. Like I picked up on that definitely from the quality of your work. Like having like someone like you on the team is going to help like people like me get over our confidence barriers. Because you'll be able to like help break stuff down for us a little bit better, like help us key into the way that you digest things, so that we'll take away like a few bits and pieces of like your learning habits and integrate them into our own.
One thing I do is I try to get at least one illustration done every week.
Hmm.
Because my illustrations take me a long time to do, like an average of 15 total work hours, and that's not including like breaks and stuff.
Okay, Google, set timer 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Starting now.
But one thing I like to do with every one of my illustrations is I use each one as a study. So even if it's like a joke post like that Kermit thing, I used it as an opportunity to like study leg muscular anatomy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, like, I'm gonna need to break out of the. I'm practicing a lot of fundamentals, but it's good. It definitely helps me, but it's become a little bit of a crutch that's kind of keeping me in a plateau that I need to lift myself off of. And I'm hoping that, like, with the help of you and a bunch of the other people on the team, and well, just other people in general, I'll be able to start making those leaps of faith in both in my animation and in my draftsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get back to another set here. Okay, Google, stop timer.
Sure, I canceled it.
Alright, so we're going to start another set shortly. Let me just take a look in chat, see the people that have posted stuff here. Feel like I'm really messing up? Nah. I mean, like, there's like some symmetry issues, like with where you're placing the eyes, but we're not too worried about eye placement right now. What you want to do, though, is you want to maybe like wrap some lines over the face, kind of like what you did here, for the nose and the mouth a bit. I'd say just do a lot more of the Loomis head. You've got generally the right idea, it looks like. You'll start to kind of key into the three-dimensionality of it more, the more of these you do. Just about the time when you get around like your 300, 3000th Loomis head, you'll feel it clicking. Like it's you're going to be doing this over the span of like days, months, weeks, and so on. It's just like any time. Loomis head is something that, like, if you can't think of anything else to practice, bust out a bunch of Loomis heads, you know? Yeah. Someone trying to do a follow along with the demo. Very successful follow along demo, I might add. Yeah, some good stuff here. Somebody did their own take on my cartoon head I did. That's cool. That's nice. These are nice studies. Cool. Yeah, this one, it's kind of hard to see because it's a little bit fuzzy, but it looks like looks like you're making a little bit too short chicken scratchy stuff. I think what might help you, draw maybe a little bit bigger on your page, and try to use your shoulder, and try to use longer strokes. And remember, you're kind of trying to construct the face. Like, there's little fixes and stuff. Like, for example, here, like, you can fix that by, like, kind of that side of the cheek kind of looks like it's caving a little bit too much. So maybe, like, push it out there. Anything that looks odd, maybe, like, you can go back in through a page like this and try to adjust it. Like, stuff that doesn't quite look quite right. Try going back through. And I might, if I had more time, I'd probably do like a draw over, to kind of show you what I mean on that. But let's see here. Yeah, there's issues going on there but keep doing more of like the side plane stuff. I think then you'll start to kind of wrap your head around it, around the stuff. The nose and mouth placement are off, but don't worry about that too much right now. If you are kind of struggling with placing those, just remember the kind of rule of thirds thing that I was showing off earlier for like the front of the face, for finding like the bottom of the nose and whatnot.
I made a new Twitch account and I just typed into the chat that, hey, this is Miles, by the way.
This is neat. Somebody did a Cora study. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff you want to do. Taking cartoon characters and then using some of the tools and so these are kind of strange, but I think there's some interesting things in there. Like, there's issues mainly with the mouth, but I think that's a little bit kind of a style. That's a little bit of style quirk. There's kind of some weird stuff going on here, but I think overall this is a pretty neat page, and I think I would want to see you just do way more of them and kind of wrap your head around the shapes more. So if there are distortions, then you know how to fix them from just sheer volume. That's looking good. I don't have anything to say about this. This is good. This looks like a first timer to me. Look at some, for the first timer here. I would say look at somebody like this, or let's see, what's a good page here. I think this is a pretty successful page. Yeah, look at this page, for example. This page is a little bit more inconsistent, but there is some good stuff here. I do like that. I do like how you're really trying, I'm just getting back to this page again. I do like how you're like trying to kind of like put the eye into the socket, like that. And you're really trying to mess with features, and you're going beyond what I'm doing with the Loomis stuff. There's a bunch of other construction things I see you are trying to combine with what we're doing today, which is good. Some of it's not quite lining up just yet, but I think you'll get there over time. Yeah, those are good studies. So I'm kind of losing my train of thought. I would want to get more feedback on this, but I've got to start the session again. Okay, Google, set timer 25 minutes.
Okay, 25 minutes. Starting now.
Only so much oxygen can go to my head when I'm craning my head to the side to look at the TV monitor I have all that shit on. So let's get... Oh, I gotta get this off screen. Get off the stage. There we go. So yeah, Miles, you there?
I'm here. Hello.
Yes. One of the things I want to work on personally is like you saw that giant ass page of those Loomis heads that I did at the start. I want to start doing that for like each individual thing that I break down and study. Like just repetition to kind of really get it intuitive to me. Maybe I can take it a step further than just like a one thing. Like if I'm doing like a big old page of like quick head quick sketch, that's a little bit more thought out than that. Like sort of what gave me the idea to do that page was seeing an art center teacher who had his students do like do like several hundred studies of animated character facial expressions. And I think I want to kind of use that same sort of approach for picking and choosing subject study to memorize and make intuitive in the future. So now I got to kind of pick my subject study and partition my time to do it. All right. Let's see here. I got that first head that's kind of in the ballpark of the head angle, but then I kind of riffed to do my own head here. Just throw the ear in there. Indication of the cheeks. Let's try moving this through this a little more confident. I know how to do this. Yeah. I am teaching these classes so that I learn. Like this is me putting myself back through art school, basically. What we're doing here. And I'm going to be doing a lot of learning from other artists. Sometimes even on the stream, like Miles, who I'm to have as a guest lecturer for hands.
Yeah, I'm excited to do that. Hands are like my favorite thing to draw, and I have no idea why.
Yeah.
Like everyone usually hates drawing hands, and I remember
They hate them because they're tough. I mean, hands are cool. If you can draw them, if you can wrap your head around drawing them, they're fun to draw. They're just tough.
I remember one time I was in one of the chat rooms here, and someone was looking at my art, and it was like, you know that Ethan Becker video where he was just like, here's how to simplify hands unless you want to be the hand person, and then they just went, you are the hand person.
I was the hand person on Hair Love. Like tons of the hands that you see on screen, like in like promotional stuff, or in the trailer for the film. Those are my hands. I was the hand fixer on a lot of shots in that short.
Nice. So you said you went to art school?
Yeah, Laguna College of Art and Design.
Mm.
I was trained by Disney animators.
Oh shit! Nice.
Yeah. Unfortunately, fat lot of good my hand drawing background did me when I entered the industry, is that it was like still like right in the middle of like almost all the jobs were like Flash puppet animation stuff, and eventually started to morph more into Toon Boom Harmony, and then Harmony started to morph more into hand drawn stuff, and now we're at the point where we have studios like Flying Bark using Harmony in really inventive ways, and even like the Harmony puppet-based shows now use a lot of like hand-drawn stuff, even with the Harmony puppet rigs. So I've got to step up my game in my hand-drawing animation. There's also a lot of mental barricades I'm going to have to work through over the course of the practice that I do. There's a lot of like internalized learned helplessness that I have that I'm going to have to work through and process. Like, I'm used to kind of beating myself up and not taking risks with stuff that's tough to draw, and I have a tendency to kind of become stupid with stuff that I should know better on, and fall back on like lazy bad habits that aren't helping me.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I try to challenge myself with pretty much every illustration night, but at the same time, I know my limits. If I'm like doing a sketch and I realize like I am not at the level to finish this, I will go to a different thing and work on something else, and then I'll go back on that drawing and just like, oh, why did I have issues with this before?
Yeah. And I want to get that kind of rhythm going for myself, for sure. Then it also applies to animation, too. I mean, it's the same sort of thing. Like, making stuff move still has, like, the same kind of issues of, like, this isn't working, I should probably put this down for a bit and come back to it. Or do something else for a bit.
One of my bad habits is I work on, like, multiple illustrations at a time. So if I have one that I'm like, I can't look at this anymore, I just hop on to another one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For our game project, I'm going to be trying to push myself to be really, really diligent about like following through on making good-ass drawings and good-ass animation. Mm-hmm. That's going to be one of the big challenges, because we're all going to be trying to make stuff. It's a student project, so the purpose of it primarily is, well, learning.
Is to learn.
Yeah, it is to learn. Well, we're also to make something, because like making and finishing like even like a game prototype, that's an excellent thing to have on a resume. Mm-hmm. And like a downloadable, playable demo game that you worked on for game studios to look at is a big deal.
I'm excited for like trying to concept some of the characters in there because I saw some of the doodles for something that other people in the team worked on, and they look pretty cool.
Oh yeah. I've got some other doodles that I haven't posted there too that I think you might be interested in too. I'll show those tomorrow or later after chat. I don't really want to show them here because like they're really really kind of messy. Like I did them when I was like not really caring about how good they looked, and was just like playing with character attitude and ideation.
Oh my god, my illustrations, they are so insanely messy when I start them out because I'm literally just trying to get what is in my head onto the tablet as quick as I can. So it will literally just be like 2 lines for the arms, and then I'll just like scribble in what the face looks like. Oh, we got Johnny Depp on the screen. He's got that little eyebrow cut like lesbians do.
Yeah. It's a very womanly man.
I mean,
In a good way.
Oh yeah, Ethan does have the eyebrow slit as well. Oh, I just saw that someone asked if I had good digital painting learning resource. Marco Busi is amazing when it comes to like learning how to paint digitally.
Yeah. I actually have some tutorials from his that I totally forgot about that I'm going to be digging through later. Later on, I might actually talk to you about that. Main thing is like I've got to wake up my brain, you know. Like I feel like I'm coming out of being asleep and being complacent with where I'm at. I need people to kick me in the head and give me that jolt of art brain coffee to build my confidence through a combination of meticulous repetition and playfulness and mindfulness about what the fuck I'm doing.
I don't know, kicking people in the head sounds kind of abusive to me.
Friendly kick in the head, like a love tap. Like, I don't know, you have a Nerf boot on or something.
Would a frying pan be better?
Is it a Nerf frying pan? No, it's Teflon. Good enough.
I found
Good
frying pan can be even more deadly in that sense.
Johnny Depp got them highly well-developed cheekbones.
What's your favorite Johnny Depp movie?
Sleepy Hollow, or as far as Tim Burton movies go, like I haven't seen any of his like non-Tim Burton movies in a while. Even like his performances in some of them is like way better. So his performances from his Tim Burton movies are more fresh in my mind. So Sweeney Todd and Sleepy Hollow, 2 of my faves.
That sounds pretty good. I was thinking more like his Pirates of the Caribbean, because that's the only thing I could think of.
I haven't watched that movie in a long ass time.
I think it's a really missed opportunity.
This is gonna sound really weird, but I really like how you drew the nose in this face that you just drew.
Yeah. Well, that's also why I wanted to bring people on mic, because I'm getting less self-conscious now that I'm kind of talking through my problems and stuff that I'm wrestling with.
No,
So I'm trying to take a little. I'm trying to play with this stuff more. So you're gonna start seeing little bits and pieces of more of that coming out of me.
Is that a Danny DeVito interview?
Mr. DeVito.
I feel like I haven't ever heard him speak outside of the show.
He's also a Tim Burton regular.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. He's also the trash. He's also Secret Identity, the Trash Man.
The trash man.
Big reveal.
We all know him as Abstraction.
Yeah, I don't know what the name of the production is, but I know that he plays a role in like a Broadway act where he just eats an egg on stage.
That's the whole, yeah.
He eats an
And
egg.
that's the whole stage. Is it just like a giant musical that's like just him singing and talking about eating an egg, celebrating that he's going to eat the egg, and then he finally eats the egg. The audience goes crazy. So I'm going to have to kind of accept that it's going to be a long ways off before I finally get to the skill level that I need, but if I'm in charge of something like that game project that we're working on, I'm kind of in the position of like a Guillermo del Toro or something, or Tim Burton, where I don't necessarily have to be as good, and I have to be as good as a draftsman.
I mean, you already are able to get jobs, so...
Yeah. Well, I don't have to be as good of a draftsman, and neither did Chuck Jones, for that matter. But then I work with and I direct the energies of the people, the people who are the good draftsmen and stuff, or are the better draftsmen than me. I mean, that's pretty much the role of a director, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Ridley Scott.
It's literally in the name. You direct people.
Yeah. I mean, Ridley Scott and like James Cameron and even Tim Burton. Even though he does like really, really crude sketches these days, there's a lot of directors that are also artists. Guillermo del Toro has those amazing sketchbooks that he's done, but you can look at them and it's not the best draftsmanship by any means. It's all like his page after page of like world building and writing and design and like designs that are taken by the more draftsmanship inclined artists that he works with, and they make cool shit with it. So maybe there's not any shame in that. I mean, I want to improve my draftsmanship as best as I can, but maybe I'm destined to be a director type at some point. He doesn't necessarily need to be as good, as long as like the story that I'm making, the storytelling that I'm making and writing, or the gameplay that I'm kind of working with the designers to design or whatever. Maybe that is its own craft itself that I should consider and value. But that said, I'm here to learn and improve the draftsmanship as best I can, and I'm damn well going to keep trying. And this guy would be such a thirst if he was around today. Del Toro is fond of like those kind of spiral pattern scarification designs in a lot of his creatures, isn't he?
I don't know. I don't know too much about his stuff to like put any input.
I think you'd like to take a look at his sketchbook work. Like most of the stuff that you see in Pan's Labyrinth came out of the sketchbooks that he made.
Ooh.
And like in Shape of Water and everything else he's done actually. Before before he became a director, he was taking special effects correspondence courses with Rick Baker.
We got another Johnny Depp photo here.
Yes, we do. I'm gonna have to update my photo list, my photo library of heads.
So, Waza Coffee said someone's got a crush on Johnny Depp. Do you want to tell us about how you just have a library of Johnny Depp photos, apparently?
Yes, I can tell you exactly why I have a library of Johnny Depp photos. I searched Johnny Depp on Google, and then ranked a bunch of Johnny Depp photos. That's all there is to it.
Zav also asked if they could hear more about the game development project. I just got added onto it the other day, so I don't know as much about it, but it's just a student project.
I guess I could describe it a little bit, but I don't want to commit to anything necessarily on screen just yet. Until we have it locked. It's very, very early. It's cool though, and I'll mention it. I'll freely mention it on Discord. I just don't really want to mention it on stream that this is going to be recorded.
Yeah.
Just yet, because it's like once it's recorded, it's like it's a little bit too much. Yeah. You know, it actually might not be a bad idea for us to record ourselves when we're in the meeting tomorrow, though.
Yeah, so that way we can look back at like old ideas and shit.
Yeah. I wouldn't stream that. I would use like OBS to like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Desktop recording and so on. I've got a 6 terabyte hard drive. That'll be just fine. Record the minutes of our meetings so that I can blackmail everyone on the staff.
Gosh, I would love to see what I get canceled for.
Sheesh. Get canceled for them Kermit legs.
God, I would probably get canceled because when I was like in middle school, I would literally go to my refrigerator and I would take the ketchup and I would just squirt an entire thing of ketchup in my mouth and just eat it like that.
Chicken or canceled. I used to
Where
be
do
one.
you find bottles of ketchup in your high school?
No, not in my high school, in my house.
I used
Oh,
to.
I missed it.
Just why?
I don't know. I like the vinegar taste of ketchup.
I like the sweet taste of vinegar ketchup. I like the sweet taste of acetone and sodium chloride.
Me too, dude.
Yeah, cancel culture. Oof. It's become kind of a meaningless Star Wars word. Like, the word means about like 10 or 15 different things that are kind of like intersecting or non-related social phenomena, I think. Depending on who you talk to, it means something rather different, I think.
It's not even really effective either because people like Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star have been canceled so many times, but they're still in the limelight.
And forget the freaking president.
It's free publicity.
I mean, the whole point of like canceling to begin with was like to hold powerful people accountable who the legal system isn't holding accountable. Like R. Kelly and like the cancel R. Kelly campaign, for example. But the thing is, like, I don't think explicitly necessarily like what's been happening on the internet lately grew out of like an offshoot of the Me Too movement, or people literally saying, "I'm going to go out and cancel this person." I think what's going on with a lot of that stuff is like the universal social phenomena of trying to find an other to ostracize, or someone with your someone like who becomes like the evil within your own group to witch hunt, or whatever. Like that base impulse of creating outgroups or creating a scapegoat is what that part of cancel culture is about. Like, good lord. I used to be one of the people who's like, oh, cancel culture doesn't exist. It's just like a snarl word from the right wing. And then about like the 20th time that I've seen a left winger or an LGBT or a POC who's like a prominent figure getting canceled for saying not really doing anything bad. They might have said something that is like slightly out of step, only slightly out of step with the thinking of a lot of diaspora Tumblr people or something. But that's enough to like launch a hate campaign against them, or they might not have done anything wrong, but there's the appearance that they did something wrong because there's like a 50 tweet thread exposing them that is just like actually full of one-sided bullshit. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. Anyway, fuck cancel culture, fuck the internet cops, like the so-called, like, the marginalized community of self-appointed protectors that just wind up behaving like COINTELPRO cops and screwing over like prominent LGBT and minority creators and stuff with cancellation or whatever. Okay, Google, stop. Set timer 5. Okay, Google, set timer 5 minutes. Yeah, it's a mess. Okay, Google, set timer 5 minutes.
Sure, 5 minutes. And we're starting now.
Yeah, I'm a gay man myself, and like the way that the LGBT community treats other people within our community is, I used to feel like welcome and like, oh, thank God, like I've lived in the closet for much of my life, and I have this wonderful group of all these people who I love and respect, who are part of my community. And that's still there, don't get me wrong, but seeing how a lot of portions of the LGBT community treat each other, and seeing how a lot of my friends, and how even I've been treated by portions of the LGBT community, where there's like this tendency to, when someone does something marginally wrong, there's this tendency to like turn the volume up to 11 for how to handle the conflict resolution over it in the LGBT community. I think the best expression I've heard it described as is it's dealing with a paper cut using chemotherapy. Like the attempt to attempt to address the perceived wrong. The means by which they're trying to address the perceived wrong is just like far outweighs what's going on. Like in most circumstances, like you could take a person aside and like privately discuss the thing or something like that, and like go over it and have like a civil discussion or something like that, or just let it go. You know, even if it is kind of like a slightly big deal, it's like, you know, in the scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. So just let it go. But
Frozen.
Yeah, but like, I know we're on a 5-minute break right now. I'm just doing this. I'm just doing the headlets on screen because why not? But like, yeah. Yeah, it is just really painful. Like, speaking from personal experience with the LGBT community, like, we are terrible when it comes to conflict resolution. Like, that is something that we seriously need to address within our spaces. Because we can't keep harming our own. We can't keep, like, terrorizing people to the same extent that we used to be terrorized when we were in the closet, basically.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't really tend to think of it like that, especially people who aren't really in the know about all the nuances of like LGBT topics.
Yeah,
things
LGBT
like
topics. Yeah, a lot of it is like vocal young people that are driving this stuff. I mean, no offense to young people or any ageism against them, but there's a lot of like young LGBT people that don't really know how to navigate their identity or these issues in a constructive, healthy way. Just yet, they've kind of learned it through spaces that do have a tendency to turn things up to 11, like, you know, diaspora Tumblr culture that's kind of migrated to Twitter in particular is particularly guilty of this. But this shit predates the internet. Like, this was happening in LGBT spaces long before the internet was around. Like,
Twitter absolutely terrifies me.
yeah, I mean, there's a number of reasons why it's been happening in the LGBT spaces, and part of it is due to the nature of what society does to us, with basically putting us under siege. So there's a lot of people that have experienced like lifelong pain who are kind of like, oh, now I get to have like a little bit of power and influence in my own circle, so I'm going to kind of take it out on other people. And it's a very primal kind of dopamine hit to do that. Anyway, I'm just kind of getting wandery off topic. I just can't fucking stand. I cannot stand how like we treat each other in LGBT spaces. Like, there's just people are getting. Thankfully, like a lot of the people I associate with and the people I admire are getting more cognizant of this and working against it. But it is something that really needs to be addressed more proactively. We need a sense of mercy and restorative justice to how we deal with conflict resolution. Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
Alright, 25 minutes. Starting now.
Yeah, it's a really painful topic for me to think about too. It's cathartic for me to talk about it, actually. That's why I'm kind of going off on a tangent here.
That's understandable.
Yeah, because it's more people need to know this. Oh my god. Kids, if you're a young LGBT or an ally here, I assume almost everyone in chat is, please avoid bandwagoning, especially against other marginalized people, because even if it's being initiated by other marginalized people against other marginalized people, there is a horrible phenomena right now with fellow marginalized people, like witch hunting fellow marginalized people, and it's commodified and exacerbated by the nature of social media. Please try to not bandwagon on others, and try to second guess stuff and assume that you're not getting the whole picture when you see like gossip or those god awful fucking cancel threads where somebody's getting dragged with receipts or something. I mean, we've seen plenty of extreme cases. Like, what's that one guy? What's that one guy who got canceled due to a lot of misinformation that later got revealed as being a lot of bullshit? He was like,
I wouldn't know. I don't.
He was a YouTuber or something. He's thankfully bounced back since then, but there was a lot of misinformation going around about him.
Yeah, it was James Charles.
Well, there's also another one. He was like a gaming YouTuber.
Yeah, gaming.
Was he
It was a gaming
Minecraft
YouTuber.
YouTuber?
Gaming YouTuber. Yeah, but the other one you mentioned is the makeup YouTuber.
Yeah.
Or the makeup Instagram guy.
Is that Jeffree Star?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know too much about it though.
I know, but there was a gay makeup YouTuber who got canceled.
Yeah, the makeup YouTuber was James Charles.
James Charles. He got very wrongly canceled, and also like if you actually look for how he got canceled, it sets off some. Oh my God, the means by which they're using to cancel him was actually pretty homophobic. Yeah, and that was like that's a pretty prominent example of this kind of shit.
The like sad thing about it was the people that were like canceling him was also like people that he knew as well.
Yeah, and so it was actually a cynical thing. It was like he became their competition. So they were trying to leverage some kind of gossip shit against him, basically. I don't think they thought it was going to take off like it did, and I'm guessing they kind of regret what happened, but it was still really selfish and irresponsible for them to do that to him. But that's the transactional nature of the internet right now, where like it's commodified, and in your interest sometimes to do shit like that, and it fucking sucks. I hate it so goddamn much. I never want to. I'm ashamed to say I've gotten involved in bandwagons before too. I'm trying to stay away from them if I can.
For me, it's just a personal thing of how even if I am like really into a certain topic or something, I won't get into the quote-unquote fandom of it or like jump on any bandwagons on someone else.
There's a friend of mine who's been a long time LGBT activist, and they've gotten so burned out over the years, like even pre-internet blow-up shit, like they even pre like cancel culture internet shit, like they instinctively like have a strong suspicion of groups from their experiences, because like usually what happens in groups, especially in LGBT spaces, but just in general in activist spaces, there's usually like one or two people with like a raging egomania who rise to the top and wind up being ringleaders and then steering things in like a really toxic direction. And like taking advantage of like a lot of well-meaning people. And it becomes about the fevered transactional ego of those people at the top. Instead of like about like the cause itself.
This all started because I was talking about how I used to eat ketchup.
Yeah,
when I was in middle
yeah.
school.
No, I heard the key phrase "cancel culture," or the key phrase "cancel," and it set me off. Well, anyway, let's get back to other stuff. I guess let's get back to drawing. How about that? Drawing in the head drawing class.
Addiction in middle school.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I show people how to do this. Like, we're a good ways along in this class tonight. What time is it? It is actually pretty close to quitting time.
Hey, Spacedad,
Yeah.
did you end up drawing during your break, or was it like a break?
It was at first, like for the first 3 days, but then I started sketching again.
You said that you were sick, right?
No. Well, yeah, it was to prevent myself from getting sick, because my sleep pattern got thrown off. I think I was a little sick on one day, or I felt like I was starting to get sick. I forget what it was, but I did take off for health reasons, because I didn't want to, because I think I wanted to prevent myself from getting sick, is what was happening. Because I could feel the onset of fatigue and exhaustion. Yeah, I think what
Sorry, I interrupted you.
that's fine. I think what actually might help me is like in this new semester, doing what we're doing right now, where I have people in voice chat bantering with me. So that makes me less self-conscious when I'm teaching, and we can go off on interesting discussions. Like the best stuff in our Discord that we've had so far is like the best experiences I've had in the Discord is when everyone's like talking back and forth and sharing ideas or whatever. So it'd be nice to like for people to Twitch to get a little bit of taste of that. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I've forgotten entirely what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So, like, after not drawing for a bit, do you feel like rustier, or do you feel like you're ready to jump back in?
Well, I mean, like, you do get rusty. No way around that. But like the stuff that you've been having trouble kind of processing starts to kind of slot into place a little bit more because you have a little time to rest and let it kind of integrate into your brainstem or whatever.
I remember what I was going to say now. I was going to talk about how my friends a lot of the times will like tell me just like you need to fucking take a break because I am very hard on myself when it comes to that.
Yeah. Well, I'll show you how to take breaks.
I've been using the Pomodoro technique.
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now, actually. We're almost pretty close to quitting right now. I'm actually thinking in the future I might, at the end of these streams, we could probably like play games or something, for like an hour or two.
Oh, that would be fun.
Somebody actually gifted me a copy of Among Us.
My partner tried to my partner and our friends tried to set up a game of Among Us earlier, and it was just so difficult because the server was packed with people. We couldn't like join a game. We couldn't like make a game because there was already too many on the server.
Yeah, actually, you know what? You guys want to play a game of TKO after this?
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah, I got it on system. I don't have Jackbox 6 or 7. Might want to get those in the future if there's enough of an interest for that. We can play TKO or what's the other drawing games?
There's Civic Doodle, I know that.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
Jackbox is coming out with a new game soon
it's kind of a Pokemon battle doodle game, yeah.
Yeah.
Where you basically create doodle Pokemons.
Yeah, and then they fight each other.
That sounds like a really cool game.
Yeah, it sounds like fun.
Yeah, TKO is pretty. TKO, Civic Doodle, and there's that other one where you come up with and pitch ideas for things. I have all three of those games because I have Jackbox 5, I believe. Yeah,
That'd be fun.
I don't have 6 though. That reminds me, I beat Markiplier at Split the Room.
You showed that clip early, the other day.
Yeah, let's play that actually. It's close to quitting time, so let me put on the clips of me beating Markiplier at Jackbox. There we go. I just got lucky with the luck of the draw and getting this room. I don't like know him or anything. I was just a regular chatter with the luck of the draw.
They're Chad.
Shit. Alright, let's see here. Just gotta scroll down. Down, 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 down. There we go. Markiplier. Yeah, there's 2 clips. I'll link them both in chat. And I'll play them on screen. So I'll give context to the first one. The first one, the game Split the Room. Like the goal of the game is to try to get the room to have like the room on a question prompt to have a 50-50 split in the vote for the topic prompt. So you usually pick like one or two words for whatever the top. You usually do like a sentence for like a situation or something, and then you have to like insert a word in there. It's kind of like a Mad Libs thing for like what the thing is. Be a little self-explanatory when I show it on screen here. Let's see. Alrighty. Oops, that is definitely not Markiplier. I'm gonna have to go back through the clips again.
Is that Fallout 4?
That's Fallout 76. I'm really ashamed. I gaze upon my shame. Those are my buddies. When I was playing and streaming it when it first came out, it was shit.
Has it ever improved at all? Like, have there been updates?
I assume no. Actually, it's gotten worse. I've been keeping up idly with like what's been happening in the game. It keeps breaking more and more every time they try to fix it.
I mean, that's tragic.
Yeah, it's because they're using a creaky old engine that's like older than a lot of the people that are working on it.
It's older than 2011.
Yeah, way older. Or I'm talking like 2003 or something.
I have.
Or actually, maybe even like 1990s. Yeah, here. So this was my prompt that I put in for Markiplier that's on screen right now.
I don't know why I'm insulted at this. I don't know why. I think it's very telling that I don't know why I'm insulted at this. I don't know why. I think it's very telling that I'm default upset about this. But I'll probably do great. I'd be great. What are you talking about? Of course you should. Hey, listen. This is a good situation. It's a good situation to be in. There's nothing even to doubt about it. Why would I even be any sort of upset about this? Like, obviously the answer is what it is. I got big brain. I got big brain.
You got big brain.
Big brain.
Got big boy, big brain.
I got big brain. Big brain. Okay.
Big brain time.
There we
He's got
go.
big pecs, is
That's
what he's
I
got.
thought.
If you've seen that thirst thing that was going on the other day on Twitter.
That's what I was talking about.
Yep, I got a super split out of that. Cleaned up on points.
That's what I thought. Well, I mean, it's more no than yes.
I like how his own fans were split on that.
Upset about this, but I'm
hilarious.
I'll probably do great.
Hang on,
I'd be great.
Where's my fucking mouse?
Of course you should.
There it is.
Hey, listen. This is not.
Yeah, let's play a game of TKO after this.
Right, that would be
Yeah.
a nice way for the classmates to cool down.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I was tall. Oh, we're done?
Yep, see, I won.
Hey, look at me!
Man,
look
why
at
is my
me.
back so stiff?
Look at me! Oh, fall in love. Oh god, I'm sorry.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Let me bring up Steam real quick.
Well, that was interesting. I'm not sure if it was great.
I'm gonna have to do a little bit of adjusting here, but yeah, here I'm gonna restart the stream so so that this can be cut off here when I upload it, so that there won't be the Jackbox stuff included. But yeah, we'll shift it over to a TKO Jackbox thing.
Do you want to shift the classroom chat into a doctor channel, or do you want to stay in here?
We can stay in here. No one's teaching that. No one's teaching right now, so we'll just play a game in here.
It's after hours class.
Yeah. Spacedad after dark.
Class after 12 o'clock.
After midnight, we're gonna let it all hang out. After midnight. Alright, let's see here.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get myself some water.
Yeah. I'll leave like let's leave like the drawing stuff on screen. That'll be neat. Well, let's see how I can. What would be the best way to set this up for the game? Oh wow! Thank you, Blue Nest, for the 2 months Twitch Prime. Yeah. Also, I didn't do any plugs for myself right now, but there's a donation link down below where people can donate direct. If you want to support the stream, best way to do it is to give me a direct donation with my donation link down below for my Ko-fi page, which is right here. I'll link it in chat also. You can also support me by subscribing to me on Twitch, or subscribe to me on my Patreon, which is also linked below. I'll be uploading like demos I do in classes here, and also my upcoming art that I'm going to be doing for my art, not the team's art, but that we're going to be doing for the game design project. Oh yeah, there's some really good stuff in the class stuff we did tonight too. Yeah. All right. So I think I'll end the stream here and then restart it with Jackbox real quick. Just got to do a thing real fast to change the stream to, let's see here, Jackbox. Jackbox Party Packs. Good. They group it by just Jackbox Party Packs now. So I'll end the stream right here. Thank you all for coming. I would normally do the congratulations screen. Oh, thank you for Chichia for the Twitch Prime sub. Let's see here. I'm going to end the stream here, and then we will jump into TKO.